Welcome to Between the Rig, a podcast hosted by Pushbox CrossFit. We're all about fitness and bringing you direct opinions wrapped in humor and a touch of, did they really just say that? We aim to help you understand more about coaching, gym ownership, and what it takes to get the most out of your fitness, mindset, and lifestyle, both inside and outside the gym. Let's get into it. All right, team. Welcome back to another episode of Between the Rig, a podcast by Pushbox CrossFit. It's been a hot minute. I think last time I checked was about the Open. I've had a lot of scheduling issues, but I'm super pumped. I know I always say that, but this is really fun because we have Becca and Monica in the house. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. Hey. And pretty much, you guys just did an awesome Hyrox race for the first time in Miami. That's been big in the fitness realm. It's been a hot thing to do, to talk about, you know, like especially as CrossFitters doing it, as other athletes doing it. And I was like, why not just talk all about this in your experience? A lot of times we talk about like serious stuff at the gym and fitness and all that and CrossFit, but like fitness outside of that exists. And we've not had you two on. We shout you both out a lot. Laffy Taffy is the nickname. I don't know if you actually went with that as registration.
Oh, we should have. I don't think we had the option. Like we had to put our real names.
So it's real names. It's not like team names.
It wasn't team names.
We have to legally
but we
change our names first.
To laugh, and then you can do it. Okay. So first time on a podcast.
First time on a podcast.
How we feeling?
Nervous.
Okay.
A little nervous, yeah.
All right. Well, let's just kind of get into it. All right. Because I want to take all this time talking about your guys' experience. We have a lot of like bullet points to go over because this is kind of still like as an event new to me. Like I know about it, but you guys just did it. So the best source is you guys here. So pretty much when did you first just have the itch and just like inkling to like try this thing? And then how soon after you thought like, yeah, that might be fun, did you actually register? And was the plan always like you two as a team, or did one person like come up with the idea first? Like how did just like, we're going to go origin story to like the finale. All right. So whoever wants to take it away.
I can start.
Sure.
Okay. I looked up some receipts for this question because I wasn't sure.
Oh, you were really prepared.
That was the only preparation I did.
Because it just happened 2 weeks ago?
It was, weekend after last. So a week and a half ago now.
Okay, so middle of April.
Middle of April.
Okay.
Yeah, April 19. I was trying to remember like who brought it up first. So I looked it up in my text messages, and there's a text message in October of 2024 from Becca that says, Monica, I would love to do a Hyrox partner with you. It would be super fun. Let's do it.
So you get all the credit or blame based on how it went.
Yeah.
So it's your idea. Okay.
It was Becca. Yep.
Okay.
But I liked that. I remember you said, great, let's do it. Let's commit to a certain date to do it by. And that was, once she said that, I was like, oh, it's really on. Like this.
Were you nervous that if you didn't, it wasn't going to happen? It was just like a fun idea. Is that kind of just like, or you just want to get on the books to like, it's real?
Yeah.
Both.
I think you setting a deadline definitely made it happen quicker.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's fun to think about things. And it's another thing when it's like, oh, geez, it's right on the horizon. This is real. Yeah. I paid for it. Oh, crap. Okay. And so how soon after, 'cause correct me if I'm wrong, you wanted to do not the Miami one, right? Or is that, was there a too late to register for a different one? Or what was the story on this? Or am I making this up?
We were waffling between Miami, Atlanta, New York.
Okay.
So Miami and Atlanta aligned with her spring break, so logistically those would have made sense. Hyrox sells out, turns out, so it
pretty
took
quick.
us we
had no idea.
So we're thinking of doing New York pretty seriously, and that sold out instantly. I think like within 30 minutes.
That before or after this one?
New York is after.
It's after.
It's this weekend,
this coming weekend.
And it already sold out before the Miami one.
No, so we actually didn't look at New York at all. At first, we were looking at Miami or Atlanta because of my spring break. And then we started training like kind of half seriously in December and then more seriously like January, February. So we had this date in mind, like, okay, we're going to do Miami. It's April 19. We started training, but we never signed up. And then we went to sign up. We're like, oh, we should sit down and put our registration in.
Yeah.
and we're like, oh crap, it's sold out. Is that a thing? And then we looked at like all of them. They're all sold out. Like everything that was open. What is it capped
at? Do you know? Is it different per
I have no
venue?
idea.
There were more than 5,500 athletes that did Miami, and apparently that was the biggest Hyrox in
And that's
America.
open, pro, mixed, and doubles.
Total. Yeah, that's like everyone. Just total athletes. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how many like women's doubles teams they take, but there weren't any when we looked in maybe January or February, like months before the race, which was, we just had no idea. So then when that happened, we saw that they were going to release tickets for a New York one, but they weren't released yet. So I like set my alarm. Miami was sold out. We were already committed to this. We're going to do New York. We're just going to go for a weekend at this point because it doesn't align with my spring break, but that's okay. They opened up at like 8 a.m. Eastern time. So I had an alarm set for 5 a.m. Monday.
I feel like this is like a rad shoe drop. Like you got to really be on it.
Worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done a rad
and they
shoe
were
drop.
like, yeah, I've never done a rad drop. But
it is stressful. All right.
I've never made it. Don't have them. But I was the one that was supposed to get those 5 a.m. tickets, and I missed the alarm. So I went on at 8, and they were sold out.
Wow.
By 8 a.m.
But they went quick. I think people, even if you were online on time, who knows?
Yeah.
You would have got them.
What was
London also sold out in like 15 minutes.
That'd be cool.
It's no joke.
They're picking some pretty fun cities, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that's also like it justifies the trip to then like you can extend it out to like a vacation or you can get there earlier because it's a worldwide thing. So I mean that seems awesome. What was the why behind it?
Just looked fun. I don't know. We did the slate comp last year. That was really fun. I think how Hyrox does doubles is very appealing because exercising with friends is more fun.
Fitness and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. You signed up. It's real now. What was the initial thought after the whole like, oh my gosh, we actually just did this? So strategically, you're probably thinking now like, okay, for those who aren't aware, Hyrox is an event. So it's the same station to station, same movement. So it's not like oh my gosh, what's the floater workout going to be? So you know what it's going to be. There's 8 stations, always with running before it. So 9 different modalities, all said and done. What was kind of the, okay, we need to meet up. We need to work on X, Y, and Z. We're already kind of strong at this. We're a little lacking here. Once the dust settled, and you're like, okay, we're doing this. Then what? Like, what was the step process after? Because you said you didn't start training like really until like the beginning of the new year.
Yeah, I think
so. Kind of 4 months prior.
Yeah, okay. And even really just meant we did open gym 1 hour a week together. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty much it. And then probably the 4 weeks maybe before the race, we both picked up our running outside of the gym. Like we were trying to get in like 2 5-mile runs a week in addition to the 1 hour of open gym that we did. But I mean, it wasn't like we were marathon training where we were doing 5 days a week focusing on Hyrox.
Like short, medium, long splits. And
we were doing CrossFit during the week, and then we got together on Sundays and did some running and some stuff that we felt like would be helpful for Hyrox.
You two don't naturally complain when like running comes up or machines or endurance or the pitter patter workouts, but I would imagine most, people who are just getting into this or CrossFitters trying to convert over to either just dabble or seriously do it, the thing that kind of stands out is like, oh, so much more running. Did you feel like you really needed to train that, or were you already kind of relatively comfortable and confident in your ability and capacity to sustain that pace because it's 8 1,000s, right?
Yeah, it's 8 1,000s.
So were you like, oh gosh, we really need to train running? Or were you like, I feel pretty good. I just want to get like comfortable and confident with that, knowing what it feels like to go back and forth between running something. Because a lot of people in the gym right now, if they're like, yeah, let's do it, I bet the average CrossFitter is like, oh God, I need to actually like run more. Mm-hmm. Because all the other things are like, this is what we normally do on a week-to-week basis training wise.
100%.
I was pleasantly surprised how fast my running came back together. Totally thanks to CrossFit. I used to be a runner and then just stopped doing it a couple years ago. So I hadn't been running regularly in years, and I thought it was going to be rough getting up to speed and mileage. You have to get up to 5 miles, or you end up running 5 miles.
Yeah.
But it came together really quickly, I think, just because the metabolic conditioning is there.
Yeah.
And it's different than just running it straight. I mean, it doesn't help that you're doing other stuff that probably spikes your heart rate and makes it harder.
Right.
But knowing it's like, okay, was it more digestible? Knowing like it's just from here to here, then we get a different station break rather than just running constantly, like unbroken for 5,000 meters or not 5,000 meters, but 5K and so much more. Like, could you pace it different knowing you're like, we have to keep doing other work, but at least it's a break from just running.
Yeah, I mean, because the runs were relatively short, like long in terms of a CrossFit workout, we do 400 meters is a run.
Yeah.
But relatively short, like less than 5 minutes of running. We were running pretty quick. I think as far as preparing for that, we weren't really doing like fast runs. We were more just trying to get into the conditioning of being able to like run for a long time. Like, we knew that this was going to be an hour plus, and we are both, like you said, like metabolic conditioning, doing kind of chippers, running and workouts, burpees, things like that are things that we both kind of like doing in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But just with the way class is set up, like we will never do a workout that's an hour plus all at once where you just don't get a break and you have to keep working.
Unless you're signing up for Murph.
Unless we're doing Murph,
and that's
which
long,
we are.
Right. There's another one that's a hero workout. I think it's like partition how you want, but it's like a 10-mile run, 150 burpee pull-ups.
Oh, God.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's like not even enough. That's not enough burpee pull-ups. Because
that's kind of what I was thinking. I
That's
was like,
so much running.
You think like 150 burpee pull-ups, like go F yourself. You're like, wait, hold on. 10-mile run? Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you almost want enough to break up the run.
Yeah.
But like there's a few workouts that like, hit that volume, but you never see that in an affiliate class because it's like we have a schedule. There's 1 hour. We got to have like 5 minutes to clean up ideally and yada, yada. Something that's always kind of intrigued me. We talk about this kind of a lot, kind of like between the lines and just probably like conversations with people between class and outside and personal training clients is I think sometimes we forget the initial intention behind like the CrossFit, which is like, hey, this will prepare you for anything in life. Mm-hmm. And it's a workout of the day. It's not supposed to be like 9 events every day to make your week, right? Like I think sometimes people think, oh, CrossFit is Fran on Monday and then the CrossFit Total on Tuesday and then Murph on Wednesday and then Helen on Thursday. It's like, no. Those are tests. Those are events. And the Hyrox is an event, right? It's, you know what it is going into it. It's not necessarily like a training methodology. There's ways to prepare and like you need certain mileage on your running and you need to practice those movements. But I feel like sometimes people will overdo CrossFit training for the sake of they think it's like, oh, they'll make up for the calories I had in the weekend, but then they kind of feel worn down, but then forget that this should always be the foundation. So what I'm getting at is when you signed up for this event, did you feel like I need to pull back on my CrossFit training? That's going to negatively impact my Hyrox preparation. Like a marathon, like that's pretty far. You need to get enough kind of tread on the tires, make sure the knees and the joints in the back are prepared for that duration and length of just ground and pound. But I always kind of find it interesting when people like stop doing mixed modal training, call it CrossFit or not, or stop doing class because of like a thing on the horizon, when I'm trying to kind of remind people, like if you do it well and smart and safely, it really should prepare you for playing Frisbee in the park with the friends or signing up for a spontaneous Hyrox thing or doing a half marathon or a 5. Like this should improve that, not harm it. Did you feel like you had to pull back down to like twice a week CrossFit, or could you still do your normal volume and then just something very specific on the weekend together to prepare for Hyrox?
I think we didn't pull back until the last 2-3 weeks, really. And that was just, we had to make sure we were getting enough runs in. I didn't want to miss class. I like coming to the gym, so I was not interested in skipping for Hyrox training.
Yeah, and I don't think that would have been helpful at all to skip the gym. Like, if anything, the last couple weeks we maybe only went 2 or 3 days a week because time-wise we couldn't do both a run and go into the gym, but not because like I can't run and go to the gym. Like going to the gym is the foundation of how we were able to like be ready for this Hyrox race. Like besides running a couple times a week, we really didn't do a whole lot else.
Yeah. Do you think it would have helped it more if you only went to like a CrossFit class once or twice a week? I mean, what would be the supplement? Like just more running? Like what is that the thing you really recommend? At least a CrossFitter trying it out for the first time, under the assumption they're pretty consistent, they go 3, 4, 5 times a week. Do you think, hey, you should trust your fitness on the 8 stations? You probably need to run more, or like, what do you think that thing would be that you need to up the ante on more? Because I feel like I wouldn't win. I wouldn't do well. But as long as my ankles, knees, and low back was kind of prepared for a little more running, like I've been running a little bit more, just like almost ran a 5K today with intervals without really knowing it. I would trust my fitness level to like go do one for the sake of like surviving, having a fun time, not hurting myself. Winning, no, right? Because I'm not like specifically
you do good
training for that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Like part of me just kind of wants to do one unprepared to be like, where am I?
Yeah.
And then have that benchmark. But I feel like that's really the thing that stands out that worries people is like, oh crap, I got to run more.
I think it totally depends on where you start with, like where your starting place is. So depends on what kind of CrossFitter you are. Like, are
like
you
a gym bro only cherry pick
yeah,
for
are
heavy
you
lifting?
a CrossFitter that like when you see 50 burpees, you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw up tonight.
Yeah.
And you see like a max deadlift, and you're like, yes, Wednesday max deadlift. Looking forward to it. Best day ever.
Yeah.
Because that's not really how I am as a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
But like if that's how you are as a CrossFitter, then I would say you probably don't need to do a whole lot in terms of your strength, because the weights are not that hard.
Okay.
So you got to start running if you're scared to run. I think for both of us, like we needed to run a little bit more, which was helpful, and like we picked it up pretty quick. Like within 2 months of running once or twice a week, we were both like, okay, I could run 5 miles. We're good.
Yeah.
So you guys got some matching fancy shoes for that.
Yeah, we did.
Usually we try to tell people coming to CrossFit class, stop wearing runners. You know, it's not, we do too many other things. We need more stability. We're jumping on stuff. We're landing in a split jerk. Like this, no. But obviously you don't want to do that much running in like an average shoe or a lifter or something.
Yeah.
So you're prioritizing gear and kind of that kind of training for running, knowing that will be fine during the other 8 stations rather than the other way around.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're a little wobbly, but it's fine. Like you just don't do a Hyrox
like your heel didn't come off.
Shoes.
Right. Yeah. Your heel didn't like slip out on the running shoe during like a sled push.
That can happen though. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you test that
double
before
knot.
the race.
No single knot. Did you guys double knot?
I did.
I must have. I can't remember.
I don't know if I want to take that. I feel like I would get stampeded. I don't even know where you'd like take a break to go tie your shoe real quick.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like run off to the side. All right, let's talk pre-event.
Okay.
Months of training happened. You've already signed up. It is now a week before Miami. When did you both get there? Because the event was what day?
Saturday.
Okay, so you arrived when? Like 3 hours is not a big time adjustment, but like, is it for you personally? Like, does it kind of mess your sleep up? Or like, what was the whole like week building up to that? Preparation, nerves, timing, scheduling. How much did you pack for? Like, walk me through that.
Well, we went Friday, so 24 hours in advance.
Classic.
Thankfully, our race wasn't, well, thankfully or not, it was at 5 p.m. on Saturday. So we land 5 p.m. Friday. I feel like it was perfect. We didn't have like that much time to get nervous or like to eat weird food.
Right. Were you okay with that? Because you both tend to go to the PM classes.
Yeah, I mean, I would so much rather PM than AM. If it was an 8 a.m. start, I probably wouldn't have done as well.
All right. But you didn't feel like you needed to get there like a week before to settle in or like adjust anything? Because it's indoors. You're not running outside, right? Or am I?
No.
It was indoors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a 9-hour time change in Europe or anything.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally fine. We do work out in the evenings, so that was fine. I think the like build up of the day, because you can't do anything all day, right? Like you don't want to go to the beach and get sun and get tired. You don't want to like eat something weird before the race. So
what did you eat?
I think I ate like two
Saturday morning.
I ate like 2 bagels and 2 bananas and a soy yogurt. Like I was just
classic.
I was just trying to eat like white food, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, yeah, you don't want like a spicy chalupa.
Right.
Yeah.
Going down. You're like, I messed up. I had some like flaming Cheetos. There's none of that.
Ooh, that could be a challenge.
Oh, that's just gross. God, Luna does that. I'm like, you need to stop. Just knock it off. All right, she kept it simple. You wanted to like, did you feel like nervous?
Yeah. But I feel like we just timed everything so well. Like we didn't go into the warm-up portion too early. Like we didn't really have too much time to get super nervous, which was nice.
And we did go in earlier that day. Like our heat was at 5:20. So
like
we looked at the schedule.
Yeah, do you have to like walk in and get a name tag? Go walk me through that. Saturday morning happens. You have your white food.
Yeah.
And then what?
All my pale foods.
Yeah.
We slept in a little bit because time change. And then I went for a little shakeout run. Just needed to like get a little sweaty in the morning.
All right.
And then we met at the convention center maybe at noon. And the pro women's double, so we did the open women's double. The pro women's double race was at 12:30, so we wanted to watch that and just like get some tips on a couple things, like as far as training. I know we've moved on from training, but like we couldn't train a couple things.
Yeah, it's a loose podcast.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But like one of the things that we knew we couldn't train, and we just figured we'll figure it out when we get there, is the sandbag lunge. You can't put it down. So you have to transfer it.
Yeah. Oh, so once it's up, it's up.
Once it's up, it's up. And however many times you transfer, you have to like be strategic about how you transfer the bag to not like waste time being like, oh, let me just, like pass it off.
Okay.
So we watched them and like slow-mo videoed how the pros were doing it so that we could see what the different techniques were, because some people do it back to back and some people do it front to back and some people lift it off and hand it, or like there's
the head roll was one.
Head rolls. Like there's different techniques they
So you didn't
use.
get like big spoon, small spoon, just right up behind someone and like grab it off their back? Or?
That's what we did. We did big spoon, small spoon. Yeah.
Was that your plan going into it?
It's not what we called it, but
well,
now we will.
Now we will. Yeah.
The team like Laffy Taffy, you also have the big spoon, small spoon technique. Yeah,
Okay.
classic.
Yeah.
Patent it.
I was small spoon.
Did you adjust anything dramatically based on seeing other athletes do something? Or what you had in mind was exactly how you executed it, besides the
I don't
the
think we
spoon
adjusted.
technique?
We didn't adjust anything.
We were pretty prepared.
Yeah. We had talked about strategy.
Every detail.
So whenever I sign up for like a local comp, like you want to get there early, but if you get there too early, you're just kind of like letting the mind game start, right? You get like the 9 nervous poops for some reason, no matter how many just simple bagels you eat. You're like, what is this coming from? Like you get there around noon, you check in, you're like, hey, it's us. Cool. Do you get like a lanyard? Do you have
ankle monitor?
Ooh.
Yeah, we had like a timing chip, ankle thing, and then an athlete wristband to get in the door.
What ankle?
And then they wrote
time.
Yeah, they wrote like our number on our arm in Sharpie.
So I was actually going to test you guys. A, what ankle did you wear it on? And B, do you remember your number that was written on your hand?
I do. Do you?
Well, our number was 17:20 because it was our start time.
Almost.
It wasn't 20.
17:20:11. I think we were the 11th team in that heat. So our start time was 17:20.
Okay.
So we were 17:20:11.
I probably put it on my right.
Was that just a personal
Maybe
comfort
right.
thing?
I'm just thinking now, if I were to put one on, I think I would go to the right. I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
Really could be either.
So, okay, you get there, you get all your numbers, you get your ankle monitor. You go where? The venue, I'm sure, is huge because there's a lot of stations, there's running, looks like a shit ton of athletes. It seems like there's delayed heat times. I got a lot of questions about that. But was the venue nice enough and big enough to take into consideration of athletes like, hey, there's a lot of folks here, let's stash them. We want to make sure like their property is safe. There's a warm-up area. Are you allowed to have spectators in the back? Do you technically call them your coach? Bathrooms, like what was the whole like logistics behind the scene to like before you stepped on stage? What is like behind the stage scene like?
The venue itself is like the whole setup is absolutely wild.
Okay.
Like there's thousands of people in there.
Like
There's a race going at all times for like 18 hours straight. Like there's never not a race going. I think the first one went at 8 and the last one ended at 11 p.m. It is just full, like there's 1,000 people running at all times. It's wild. And the way at least our venue is the run is on the outside and then the stations are on the inside. and the spectators are also on the inside. So if you want to go in to be a spectator, you like line up, and then there's like volunteers set up that will like, they basically shuttle the runners on 2 different forks back and forth so that they can like bring in a group of spectators, and then you cross the running path while
like
it's
Frogger?
closed.
Okay.
And then you stand in the middle of the running path, and they change the fork. So then the runners are now going to run behind where you just walked through, so you can then walk in. It's just really wild. It's very, like, you have to like wait in line, and only maybe 50 people at a time can go in. And only maybe 50 people at a time can come
stressful.
out.
It worked,
and there's
though.
no bathrooms, and there's no water once you're inside. And then
for anyone.
For
Like if you're a spectator,
anyone.
you're holding it.
You're holding it. If
Well, so
you're
you just wanna
actively
leave.
running the race, like there's some water stations while you're actively running the race, and you can like hop a fence and go to the bathroom real quick.
This sounds like, because we just got back from New York. You just got back from New York post Miami, and we did a bike ride through Central Park. You ran through it.
Mm-hmm.
My first time, your first time. And there's the space is huge, but it's like a one-way loop, and there's horses and cyclists and runners and like tricyclists and pogo like everything of transportation. It's on there, but there's also like actual crosswalks and walks and lights there, and you're supposed to like stop and let people like walk, because it's like, or you're expecting someone to like time it perfectly and run and jump through that. I feel like I'm picturing this out of like recency bias.
Yeah,
but no one just like, you had no like streaker that just ruined the race and like tripped someone, or
Oh, that would have been funny.
no, but yeah, it's a pretty wild setup.
all right.
It's impressive how they pull it all off, honestly.
How do you, like,
it's pretty smooth.
Get judges in and out to get like relieve them. That's
Ooh.
I have no idea, because
that's
the race is
impressive
going at all
logistically.
times.
okay. So now, how soon before did you warm up, and what did you do for your warm up?
30 minutes before, I think is what we ended up doing. We
Yeah,
took your advice.
maybe even less.
Get a glisten. I remember you said that before one of the opens. I was like, Aidan says you have to get a glisten.
Yes,
So that's what we did.
that's what I'm known for saying.
Get a glisten.
Glisten up.
Laffy Taffy, glisten it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's important to. I mean, usually the rule of thumb is the longer the workout, there's a little bit less of that. And if it's like a Fran, that's just gonna like bury you in a coffin. It's like you actually got to warm up and get really primed, because you don't want that to turn on and impact you negatively in the middle of the race. But this is still like an hour plus. So what did you do? What did you do for a glisten? How'd you glisten up?
We hit all the machines for a few minutes, and we played around with the sandbag because we needed to figure that out.
Spin effect.
And then we just hit Berg. I think we did standing Berg or Berg sprint right before the end
Yeah.
to really jack our heart rate.
Did
Yeah.
it look
If
like the same
anything,
thing
it
as
was
everyone else?
I didn't really look
We
at
were-
what people
yeah.
were doing.
We
Yeah.
were main charactering at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, I would say it was even less, maybe even 20 minutes. Like I was like, I don't think we want to be in there for too long, like just twiddling our thumbs, because once you're in, like you're in.
Do you feel like you're like a horse in the stables, just
Yeah,
kind of locked
exactly.
in? There's not a lot of like wiggle room.
It was not
it-
very
it was-
big, and there was
yeah.
quite a few people in there.
Yeah, that's good though. They had like a bunch of machines. We didn't have to wait long for a machine.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait long, but it wasn't like they had a huge like mat to stretch on or anything like
That's true.
that. So, yeah, we went in. We probably did go in about 30 minutes ahead. We did like a couple minutes on the run, couple minutes on the row, couple minutes on the ski. We hit the bathroom, and then we came out and did like a bike sprint, and then got in line.
Stretch a little bit.
Little touch your toes, shoe the chickens, and like
Yeah,
you're
we did
off.
some-
Oh, I did.
Like
shoot
when
the
one of
chicken.
us was running, the other was shooing the chicken. Then when one of us was rowing, the other was like doing side lunges.
Okay, so you're number 17, 20, 11, because that was the time.
Mhm.
And what was the 11?
My guess is we were the 11th team.
How many
At that
how many
heat?
started at the same time? Like did everyone else have 17, 20, 11 because they were also the same folks going, or was it 17,
They all had
20,
17,
12?
20.
Okay.
Yeah, 17, 20. My guess is like 01, 02, 03, all the way up to however many teams
It looked like a mass stampede.
Yeah,
all
how
these
many
little
do
like
you
YouTube
think
videos. Yeah,
we
how many-
started with.
More than 50.
More than 50
Maybe?
teams,
that's
yeah.
100 people just right there.
I would say, at least 100 people.
And do you still funnel in to the heat before? Like if they're slow, if you got some slow people or fast people, like
100%. they're
Sounds like a
releasing
clusterfuck.
us. They're releasing us like every 10 minutes. So there was a 17:10 heat, a 17:20 heat, a 17:30 heat.
And they're just hoping they're far enough up.
They're not, yeah, they're far enough up in the stations, but then everybody's on the run together. The run was so chaotic. Like,
Sounds like a mass swim or something. Like,
yes.
oh God.
And everybody's running different paces, and I was getting frustrated.
Okay, so let's get into this. The event. We're here. You're lining up. 3, 2, 1. I don't know. Whistle, horn. Someone just yells go. Whatever. Boom. You're off. What was the strategy? No, I mean, that's a very curious one. Some people intentionally fall back. Like, I don't want to get trampled. I'll make it up somewhere. And some people feel like they need to sprint out so they don't get stepped on from behind. What was the game plan going into it? Like, what was the pre-thought about this is going to be our bread and butter, this is not? And then walk me through it, because you start the run. What is the next station? Will you all say the stations so people who don't know? Because it's always run station. So just know there's running after whatever they're about to say.
Yeah. Do
Take
we
it
remember
away.
them all? Ski, sled push, sled pull.
Is this the order?
Yep.
Ski.
Sled push, sled pull.
Okay.
Burpees.
Burpee broad jumps.
Burpee broad jumps.
Okay.
Broad jumps. And then it's farmer.
Row.
Oh, shit. Row. Farmer. Lunge. Wall ball.
Ooh, lunge before wall ball. It's kind of a dick
Lunge
move.
before wall balls.
All right. What was the strategy going into it? And then were you nervous, or was there almost like a calm? You're like, we're here, we're lined up, we're shoulder to shoulder, like, let's go.
Well, the hype girl helped. There's this amazing hype woman that before every single heat, she like hypes you up, and it's not cheesy. It like really works. And I was just like,
Yeah, she like brought us all in, our whatever 50 teams of our heat, and we all got in a circle, and she's like, close your eyes, like take 3 big breaths. Like she really hyped us up, and she's like, all right, repeat after me, like be humble, be strong. Like I don't remember what it was, but we were hyped the fuck
Sounds
up.
like the King Leonidas speech for 300.
Yeah, it
He
was
fucking
great.
jacked.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, I'm just gonna rip off people's heads now. And that, if for people who don't know team sports or have been in an environment like that, it sounds so like, like cringy. But when you're in the moment and you got adrenaline going, and you're just kind of like, be humble, like, and then you got be humble, like, you're like, yeah, fucking let's go, fucking like snorted something before, and you're like, what's taking over me? And then after, you're like, anyway, that was fun. You're like, what? Who did I become?
Yeah, she was
it
awesome.
worked. She's great.
She took us through, like, I feel like it started as like a meditation. It ended as like a mosh pit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Just slapping each other in the face. You're like, yeah. Okay, so you're off. Talk about the run etiquette and the run experience, at least in the first one when it was just a cluster F.
Our plan was to not go out too hot, but also recognizing that we probably would be running faster because you're jacked up for the first run.
Especially after that speech.
After that speech,
Yeah, but you gotta be humble. Yeah.
And our first one was our fastest, but we felt good. I don't think we went out too hot.
Yeah. We had an idea of like what we wanted our pace to be, and I had my watch set so that we could keep track of it, and we were never even close to our pace. Like we were like literally a minute faster.
What? Okay, so what was it?
We wanted a 7:45 and we ran a 6:45 pretty much the whole time.
How long did it take you to finish each run, roughly? I mean, carry the forward, divide the blah blah blah. What is
I don't know. They give you like a.
I mean, that's a sub 4
maybe
minute.
4:30.
That sounds
or
about
something.
right. Our first one was 3 because that one we did do significantly faster.
That one was shorter too. The
3
first
something.
one is shorter because you start like in a different place than you come out.
Is the loop one loop, or is it like 2 500s to make 1,000?
2 500s. Almost. It was like the in and the out were maybe 50 meters apart. So you would go like out, run a full lap, and then run an almost full lap on the way back in.
My fear is like
you have to count for yourself. There's no way to know if you're on your first or your second. So like, but if you do it wrong, it's like a 7-minute penalty or something really big. They just add to your time. Your chip. Yeah, you like cross the line.
Because I got so many standards questions in a moment, but I mean, like, okay, so they're keeping track.
They do keep track of you, and I think it's pretty accurate.
And Miami, the Miami Convention Center is big, so the fact like ours was only 1.5 laps. It's usually like 3 to 4 laps. So if you're gonna do a Hyrox, like be prepared to count. Girls online say they put hair ties on their wrist and then
I think I saw that. It was almost like, different, like some of them have different like colors in the right order. Because are the stations marked other than just like 1, 2, 3, 4?
Well, they're marked 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. But I thought someone did like, they had bands that said 1, 2, 3, and like they turned it over and they're done. Like I'm done with 1, I'm on to 2, or like they had their own like color code trick. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. There's a lot to juggle
I think being on a team was helpful because we talked it out loud the whole time. Like we'd be like, we're on lap 1 more lap, and then we'd be like, okay, we're coming in this time. Mm-hmm. Like we would just say it out loud.
Yeah.
And we never messed up on it. I think that happens sometimes, but
yeah, I think it would be easy to mess up. Monica's very sharp and on top of it. Mm-hmm. We learned in training that I get loopy by the 5th lap, so it's like, okay, keep your eye on me.
Yeah. I'd be like, Becca, this way.
What were you, Becca, most thinking like you're gonna crush, and what was the station or modality you were most nervous about? And then same question for you after. Like going into it, you're like, I'm pretty good at this, or we're pretty good at this. And what was the thing you're like, oh God, I hope we don't like crash on that?
I thought I'd crush the ski. I think we did good on the ski. I was worried about the sled pull. We only trained that once. Yeah. So that was a bit of a wild card. Yeah.
I thought we were gonna crush the burpees, and we did.
Okay.
And we also surprisingly, I think our best placement was the row
by far.
Which I think that's just because you've been doing rowing more this year.
Yeah, we row a lot.
Like we really killed the row. I was most nervous about, I don't know that I was nervous about anything. I just figured like the sled is just throw our hands in the air. We'll see how it goes because we just didn't train that.
Yeah.
And that did end up in fact being the worst one.
Yeah.
That was the worst one. The push.
No, the push was chill because that's just like, it's just strength. There's no technique to it.
Yeah.
But the pull, there is a little technique to it.
Were you hand over hand, or were you like hand, heave, ho, switch hand, and like lean back?
I was like heave and then take maybe like 3 steps back and then walk forward and do another heave. I think you were the same.
Yeah, the same. We had like technical difficulties though, so our sled pull problem wasn't even
like didn't have a rope.
It
like
was,
how do I pull this?
Whoever
coiled.
left it for us, the previous team, it was like looped around. The rope was looped around the sled, so we like when we picked it up to pull it, it like pulled the sled. So then she was pulling first, so I had to like run to the end and undo it, and then run back, and she can't pull until I'm back. So it was a total waste of time, and then we got flustered. So
you clearly don't have a judge going with you, so it's like I'd be the row judge and just like first team that runs up to my rower, or if you have 11 on your arm, do you go to rower 11, or like how does the flow go? Like you run, you go into ski first. Is it first come first serve?
You take the farthest lane. So
like strategically, or like that's the
that's
rule?
what they have to do. They kind of wave you in.
Okay,
so you fill up. It's kind of silly because there could be like 200 skis and 30 people on the ski, but you have to all be on the first 30 skis next to each other. But they make you come in and go to the very furthest, whatever the machine
from your entry point, but then closest to the exit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and that's kind of the reward of you got here first, so you got to be closer to exiting out, I guess. I mean, a little extra run.
I think they just try to keep it organized by like putting you at the end so that nobody's like running past you while you're trying to ski or trying to pull the sled back.
How many machines are there? Because I'm still visualizing like there's 10-minute delays, but that doesn't mean like someone can't catch up in 10 minutes. Like that's not a lot in an hour 30 potential workout. Like, was there ever like, oh God, the previous heat's still on the ski and we're here?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you always had.
There were a lot of machines. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm just like,
I mean,
trying to visualize
it's an event.
How many skis do you think were in there?
A lot.
I feel like there was a couple hundred skis. Like it's maybe that's an exaggeration, but it felt like a lot.
So it's the whole phrase of you have a game plan until you get punched in the face. You had a game plan. Did you execute it, or all of a sudden one of you feel, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm bonking all these burpee broad jumps, take over, and all of a sudden one felt better on like what? How did the actual experience of the stations go?
I think we went perfectly on, like, not to toot our own horn, but we were so
Toot
well
away.
prepared and planned.
Yeah.
I feel like everything just went so well. Like, I'm not usually such a like blatant optimist, but
What'd
we
you-
finished and I was just like, that went so well.
So
Yeah,
I did a little research. You guys finished in an hour and 11?
Mhm.
Yeah, hour 11.
I did
Close
the
to it.
old Google AI thing. And it was saying for, if I read correctly, like an average or a good is like 128 for mixed female pairs. Is that, did you have any idea of that going into it? Like and that's coming from the
We
program,
had
which
a-
is legit like training, kind of like the Europeans HWPO and all that. Like they
Mhm.
do stuff specifically for also Hyrox training, as a lot of like the main camps are starting to see that trend. People have interest in Hyrox. They are doing specific programs for that. So do you guys, sounds like you just fucking crushed it. Is there placement? Where'd you guys place even?
We were like, do you have the
I have it written
stats?
down.
Becca has her sheets of
I
stats.
have notes.
Yes.
Let's see.
And does it say out of how many? Like, do you know?
We know out of how many total, but then we also had a place for our age group, but I don't know if we know what that was
Yeah.
out
I
of.
aged
I
you.
think we were, now I can't
I think
find it.
they age everybody.
We were like 63rd overall, and then 20 was like
Out of like
29th.
620 teams or something.
I thought
So
I
top
wrote it down.
10%.
Almost.
Yeah.
We were top 10.4%. If you round down, it's 10.
All right. So you're going to like quarterfinals in the CrossFit Open if you made like the top 10%. That's the equivalent of like first time.
Yeah.
and not
Yeah, 63rd overall, 29th age group. I think that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nailed
Nailed
it.
You guys crushed that.
Thanks.
Did that go
thought-
better than you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, I think we could have gone harder.
Yeah, we had like a target goal time, but
Which
we 116. And we
Nice.
came up with that number completely on our own. Like I've never looked at a stat or like what other people were getting in Hyrox. Like
Yeah.
I've watched I watched like the World Finals where they're getting like 54 minutes.
Crazy
So,
stuff.
you know, I didn't even really have an idea of what like a time would be, and we just sat down and we're like, okay, we want to run plus transition. Let's say everyone's going to take 5 minutes, so 40 minutes. Okay, ski, let's say we're going to do this pace 5 minutes, and we just added it up and
Yeah.
set our goal at 116, and that ended up being a good goal
Yeah.
because it was attainable. And yeah,
Trish and I were noticing this. Everyone seemed to kind of have like matching pastels or something. Do they give
yeah.
you a uniform, or did you choose that?
That's funny.
that's
You guys
so
had
funny
yellow.
Sarah
because
knows that too.
we
I was like, what's happening
we
here?
had a uniform. We spent a long time picking out our matching bras and shoes and everything. And we were kind of nervous about it because that's not really a thing like in CrossFit. Like you go to a team's workout and maybe you have like a matching shirt, but it's not super cutesy.
Someone's wearing like jorts, and you're just
Yeah,
like having
right? Like, it's
making
not-
it up and having fun,
Yeah.
like cut off flannel. But there's like like, is there an etiquette about this or a rule?
No, well,
I mean, it's what the
I
girls
think we
tend to
were
do.
kind of like, is this too much? Is it gonna be like we're gonna show up in these matching outfits and they're gonna be like, that's
So
kind
that
of
was
cringy.
your choice.
Yeah.
So we did that,
Okay.
and then we showed up, and it was like every
Every pair
female
was matching.
pairs was like looked like us. They were all in the same.
Okay.
They were all in
Yeah.
the same outfits. It was really cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
it wasn't
liked
like your 17, 20, 11 yellow.
No,
No.
there was
Okay.
no. There was we could wear whatever we wanted.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look
We
great.
had
You
our-
got to match.
we
You
had
got to,
push
you
tattoos
look good,
on.
feel good.
Yeah, we
Saw
put our push
that.
tats
Saw
on.
that.
The wristband.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that.
That's nice.
All right, I love my standards. It sounds like very impressive setup with so many moving pieces, but also seems like that means a lot can go wrong. Definitely within the space of like socials and all that, like it seems like wall balls keep getting picked apart, because if you're not a CrossFitter, you think it's just kind of like squat to whatever you feel like is depth and heave it across. What it seems like to me is there's a counter when the ball hits the target correctly, but that doesn't mean the squat depth was there. So talk me through all the things you, if at all, you were impressed by, like, wow, considering how bad this could have gone, they kept us on schedule, they funneled us in perfectly here, and the things you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have like a brain aneurysm of just like frustration and stress.
The running for the aneurysm.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
talk about running for a second.
Do it. Yeah, just walk me through.
So they have the The running lane is maybe 15 feet wide. Like, it's pretty wide.
Okay.
And then there's a white line about 4 feet from the inside of the running loop.
Okay.
And that's the, like, passing lane. And then,
Just
and
like
they
a freeway.
say this, they say this in our little hype up speech, like, be mindful that left lane is fast lane, stay to the right if you're not passing. And when we first went out, like, we went out and we were, like, I would say in the top for speed. Like, we got to the left pretty quick and, like, got along. And at first it was like, I was kind of, we'd run up behind somebody and be like, ooh, excuse me, ooh.
Sorry.
And then, like, you know, sometimes go around them on the right and sometimes go around them on the left. And then, like, by stations, like, by runs 6, 7, and 8, I was just, like, full bitch mode. I was like, on your left. Like,
just slap their ass. Maybe next time, champ. And you're like
they're, like, hugging the inside, running so slow. And I'm just like, on your left. So yeah.
Is there any beef? Like, could you tell people, like, I'm gonna find you after?
Yeah, I think people were like, shut the fuck up, and I was like, I don't care, get out of my way.
Oh yeah.
Like, we got work to do.
Yeah.
Right. You're slowing our splits down.
Yeah.
Was there any, like, exchange either between you two and other runners, or you overheard something like, ooh, glad I'm not in that drama? Like, was there a road rage person, the equivalent of, that was just like trying to trip someone or riding someone's ass? Like, what is the etiquette on that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty nice.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe some running etiquette rules could be just universally improved on and be aware of.
And we'd choose the faster heat next time. We were in the second fastest heat, and we were clearly running too fast.
Yeah, they had us when we registered say what our target, like, range for finishing would be.
Okay.
And there was, like, a hour to hour 15 range and an hour 15 to hour 30 range. And we put our goal at 116, and we were kind of like, do we want to be in that? Like, do we want to be at the back of that first heat, or do we want to be at the front of the second heat? And we ultimately were like, I don't want to like miss.
Err on caution. And,
yeah. Or I don't want to, like, say we're gonna be fast and then be slow and then be like, why did you put yourself in this heat?
Right.
Yeah.
That's always hard to guess. That's a long time frame to guesstimate.
Yeah.
Is there a time cap to this?
Not that I know of.
I don't know. There must be.
You didn't need it, though.
I mean, yeah.
You'll never know.
Wouldn't know.
I haven't heard of any time cap. So.
All right. What was the station that was kind of like, it's hard to mess up standards, and, like, it was fine, and it seemed everyone was respecting that? And what was, like, because one works at a time. So at any point, like, when Monica was working, were you like, oh, these motherfuckers over there, they are, you know what I mean? Like, you're already nodding. For visual non-watchers and audio only, Monica is nodding.
I'm such a standards bitch, so it was a
Dude,
hard
you're
place
preaching to
for
the
me to
fucking
be
choir.
in.
Yeah. You're like, oh. Okay, well, what was, like, the most egregious thing? Was it wall balls?
It was wall balls.
Wall balls.
And
God.
what's frustrating is, so also the target has a sensor, so that's how it's counting your wall balls. So if someone's not hitting depth, but they hit the sensor, it's counted, and the rule book will say if you don't hit depth, it's not counted, and you'll have to do that again.
Well, rule books say a lot of things.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
people
but
don't.
nobody's.
And so we
Does
would
it
have.
show the number, or is the judge being like, green light 1, and, like, audibly?
No, there's a screen, which is nice.
So what are they there for?
They're not there, which was a surprise to me.
Oh, physically. That's
Like,
not like a dig on them. They were not there.
There just weren't enough of them.
I thought there was going to be, like, one judge per team for every station. There was, like, 5 judges for 50 teams.
Just.
Yes.
And I think that might have been a Miami issue. I've seen online people complaining about penalties, so they seem to happen sometimes, but I think Miami was understaffed.
That sounds like a Miami
Yeah.
thing.
So that was a surprise to me. Like, I thought we were going to have a judge behind us on the ski, and then when we hit 1,000 on the ski, like, I was like, can
I leave?
Can I go?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, go. And I'm like I didn't
Scouts
know.
honor, I'm done.
Rule book says you're supposed to raise your hand and a judge acknowledges your 1,000 meters and then you go. That wasn't happening.
People were just running off when they hit their 1,000 meters.
See, this already seems like a fun experience to, like, make fitness with a friend, but, like, I don't know if I would ever be able to 100% be like, these times are valid.
Mm-hmm.
Like
our time was valid.
I mean,
Yeah.
our time
No, I
was,
know
but like
you
we
two
would
going
have
into it.
placed higher if everyone else was doing wall balls.
That'd be
to full
really
depth.
hard to just want to trust human movement, human honesty. Like
Yeah.
it's I don't envy being a judge in that. Like you have to have a little human grace for like the effort they're putting in, but like
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna say here's 50 teams, you need 50 judges.
Yeah.
Like simple as that. Like sorry
Yeah.
that's hard. You need like a pee break, but like then you need to make sure it's fair for everyone because this is not. I mean, do you mind saying how much it costs to like just sign up like to register? Like let's say you live in Miami, there's no travel cost. What did it
Yeah.
cost to?
It was
It's 200.
Yeah, I was gonna say over 200.
It's different depending on the city, though. New York was going to be more than 200.
Mm-hmm.
And this is each, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Okay.
team registration was in the low 400s, like maybe
Yeah.
420 or something.
And we had the photo packet. They take photos of you. And our
I saw
tickets.
some of them.
yeah.
Our tickets had that included. I
So
probably would have
it's
wanted them anyway.
not super cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, which would just piss me off more if I'm getting burned by someone who's just quarter repping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lunges, people weren't standing up all the way. And that's kind I don't want to say a regret because I'm glad I did everything to standard, but I was intentionally stepping in between each lunge because I was nervous that I wouldn't stand up all the way. And that's slower. And other people weren't doing that.
Yeah,
and
this
it didn't
one
matter.
one woman like breezed by you doing like half lunges
Yeah.
while you were standing up.
God,
All the way.
I hate those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know you should just be a little like kinder and patient and wiser when you get older, but I'm like, you're
But,
not
like, you
doing
signed
it.
up for this
Yeah.
$200
Why-
race.
why is this hard for you
Read
not to
the
abide by the
standards
standards?
first.
Yeah.
Or like
don't
if you
get it.
can't do a full squat,
Yeah.
don't sign up for this race. It's not. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Out of 10, what was the overall experience, start to finish? Training for it, signed up, regrets, no regrets, joy, fitness with friends, Miami weather, going with like your partners. Like what was the overall like? Glad we did it. Hell yeah, glad we did it. Like what was it?
10. I loved it. So much fun.
That's like all the numbers I gave you to choose out of. Wow, that's maximal.
Yeah. I've been sitting here like bitching about standards, but yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 experience. Like
Yeah.
we did our race the way that we wanted to do our race, and yeah, I was like side-eyeing other people in the way they were doing their race, but at the end of the day, like I loved it. It was super fun. It's very hype
Okay.
in there.
Yeah.
Like it's a different vibe for sure than like a CrossFit competition, which is also hype but in a different way.
Explain that. Because that was kind of we have about 10 minutes left. I wanted to kind of get into not comparing like which one is better, which one is worse, but like two things can be great and also different. You've each done a CrossFit competition. I mean, obviously there's a little recency bias with the high of this, and you trained for it, and you did it with like each other. What was the CrossFit comp like? What was this like? Which one, it sounds like you want to do another one coming up. Like, is that just because you're kind of on that high, or you just like enjoy it better, or it matches your fitness why personally as athletes and human beings?
Well, the first question, I mean, Hyrox is like maximum production. So you walk in and there's music and Hyrox branding everywhere and like merch, and it's just like, so everyone's like super fit. It's like everywhere you look, it's fit people. So
Yeah.
like, that's really cool. And the CrossFit comps are more like, local gym, more homey, and maybe you probably have more friends there. So it's just different experience.
Yeah.
If it was a bigger production, do you think like the nerves of just so many different modalities and tests and, oh God, I'm strong here, but I'm weak here. Like, do you think that would make a difference? Like if it was same level production, like same hype woman, she's like, lift that barbell, walk on those hands, be humble. You're like, yes, ma'am. And you're like rah-rahing in a group, or this was just kind of more fun or just up your alley personally. I mean, so it's all personal, but what is that comparison? Like on a day-to-day basis, you do functional fitness, right? You attend a gym that does that. And which means you do everything. Sometimes you don't want to do those things on the day you sign up for class. Some days you're like, yes. But what is that? Because I feel like that's a lot of what people are kind of going on right now. It's like, do I just abandon this thing? Do I just like keep doing this thing and then just do more of these events because it's an event thing. It's like Murph is an event. It's not your day-to-day training.
It's a side hustle, a really fun side hustle.
Is it your side fitness chick or like what's?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
What about you?
I think that Hyrox is a small box of everything that we do in CrossFit, but CrossFit is so much more than Hyrox. Like Hyrox and their 8 stations is just 8 things that we do in 8 out of 1,000 things we do in CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like they're not different and they're not the same either.
Yeah.
So I think being a CrossFitter, you're like automatically a Hyroxer. Like if you want to go do a Hyrox, go do it. Yeah. You've pushed a sled, you've thrown a wall ball, like you should probably like do some burpees if you are scared of cardio. Yeah. Because it's just cardio. It's just CrossFit cardio.
It's endurance bias, not strength bias.
Right.
I mean, I've kind of been seeing these sometimes like people have their own like kind of meme joking personality Instagram pages about just fitness in general. And something I've been seeing is like 3 reasons why Hyrox is not just a CrossFit event. And then like they jokingly freeze at the whiteboard because they don't know how to answer it. Like,
yeah, it's just a CrossFit event.
You know, like it has a name. I'm doing Hyrox, right? I'm doing Murph, and it's a longer thing. It has a very intentional stimulus behind it. Like you need to prepare for that and be ready for that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's a thing you sign up for, just like any other thing you sign up for. Do you think, as long as you don't lose touch with your running, and you're doing it to like always do better and always have, you know, to do well, but like have fun and just push yourself, do you think just like being consistent in your weekly training, day-to-day training, and more like mixed modal CrossFit style training is enough preparation?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, really the only thing we weren't super prepared for was the sled pull, and that wasn't because of strength or fitness or cardio. Like it was just because you're in a 2.5 foot box and you can't let the rope go out of it. So then I ended up stepping all over it and like twisting my ankles. Yeah. So that was just like technique just that we hadn't like a practiced. Snake.
You're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's annoying. It's an annoying station. But.
And that's just like, but you could still do it.
Yeah.
You just trip over the rope like we did.
Every once in a while we get those emails that are like, hey, I'm going to do this thing, and like, so can I pause for a month or two? And in my head, I'm like, well, you know, to each your own, but I'm like, personally,
it would probably help.
I'm like, why? Like that makes the most opposite sense. Like, again, take the most extreme situation. We even have some people who are preparing for some like triathlons and Ironmans, and they're still going, maybe not 5 days a week, but they either see the importance of it or they just like the community. I'm like, I don't think you truly need to stop. I always just kind of find that interesting and a little slightly annoying funny.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, I had this one event come up. I got to stop all things in my life and prepare for this, knowing you're probably not going to win, which is okay. It's not the point of doing something. It's the experience, and you always want to do well, right? Like you guys crushed that on the first time, but you're probably not mad that you didn't win. You're kind of like, I don't know what to expect. We have this target time. You crushed it by 5 minutes. So I'm sure if you do it again, you would want to do better, and you have different like strategical approaches to it. But it doesn't seem like it caused this panic, like, oh God, I need to quit my job and never touch a barbell, and like I need to just solely.
It's just a side chick. It's not that serious.
Right? Like, call her back every once in a while, show some respect.
Yeah.
Don't be late. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if you're training for a really big event that is not related to CrossFit. Like this was an event that is related to CrossFit.
Yeah.
But like you're doing a triathlon, you really do need to like spend hours on your bike and spend hours on the road and spend hours in the pool. And the hours available for CrossFit become less, not because you don't think CrossFit would make you fitter for your Ironman, but just because like I only have 2 hours in my afternoon and I need to spend them on my bike.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad that we stayed in the gym the whole time we trained, and I'm training for a running race with Eric right now, and like we haven't left the gym while we've been running it or doing our running in prep for that. So stay at the gym, stay in school,
especially if you're gonna do pro division, because those sleds are heavy.
What were the weights in your division? We have a couple minutes left, so I want to last little maybe few points we want to talk about. Or
it's 225 for the push.
Pounds or kilos?
pounds.
Okay.
171 for the pole. That's women's open. For pro, it'd be.
It must be measuring kilos though to get 171.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like,
Yeah. It's all very. I had to calculate it.
Okay.
Pro, the pole is 227. I'm flipping these. What's the push? Oh, 335.
Yeah.
For the push. So it's a
But
jump.
I felt like the sleds were pretty light. Like, we probably could have signed up for pro.
Yeah.
But now
It would have gone slower, but
Yeah.
I'm low key trying to get Sarah to be a partner, and she's starting to balk at that. So Sarah,
high
if you're
key,
listening,
Sarah,
So
you would be
good.
so good. It's so fun.
Sarah, it's like pulling teeth with you sometime. You're gonna crush this. You're gonna like lap me.
You are
I'm gonna
gonna
be the dead
do
weight.
so well,
You
Sarah.
guys could get a cute
Sign
matching
up.
outfit.
We can get pastel yellow.
Yes.
Or whatever you want. I'll let you pick my outfit.
Sarah, do it. You'll love it.
So I know.
And if not, it's an hour out of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll love it.
Because I think that's the power of events, or having something on the horizon. If it's a 5K for you, if it's a CrossFit competition, if it's a Hyrox, it kind of reminds you of like, oh yeah, like training should be fun. We should do it with our friends. To put a little more seriousness when you have something coming up because you want to be motivated for something. Because I think just training every day forever without like something to work towards for the average person can be a little like, when does this end? It's like fitness never ends. Like you invest into it. You know, like I saw a post. It was like, you know, your body's going to outlast your car and your watch and your shoes. Like invest into that, you know. And I think these are fun little things on the way to keep that long-term fun.
Truth.
And it sounds like, at least my last thought, and I'd love you two to get like any last little words in there, is I think what they've done a good job at is the stations seem very kind of like low-hanging fruit for like everyone to feel safe doing it. There's no squat snatch, there's no muscle up. It's kind of like anyone can do it. We were on a phone call today for a separate business thing, and there were like, I think 1 million people this year have like signed up to do a Hyrox. And then at peak, you have like 450,000 people sign up for the Open in a year. Now,
Wow.
a lot of people are doing CrossFit around the world, but from an event, they're like, and one that's not cheap, you're touching upon different areas of fitness, not just CrossFitters, which I think is kind of cool. And I appreciate that, because I think sometimes we get sucked into the whole, like, let's just watch like the superstars, but like, we're here. We want to feel like we challenge ourselves. We want to be the main character in our movie for an hour. And I think that was a great point to make. So what are your kind of final thoughts on just like the experience, or recommendations, or just like, I don't know, life opinions on fitness in general? Like whatever you want to do.
I mean, I think one of the pulls for Hyrox is it's a little bit easier to be good at it. I mean, like for our CrossFit comp, we got last. We had so much fun, but we got last. Hyrox, we finished top 10%. So maybe that's part of why it has such a draw.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you finish last in Hyrox. Then you're like,
Someone's
this
got
too.
Yeah, we were actually just bad at everything. Yeah, I think that I like having like short-term goals, because the long-term goal is to like live a long and healthy life, but that's like a really long-term goal.
Yeah.
Right. So having these short-term goals, like a CrossFit competition, the Open every year, this Hyrox race, another race, like I think it's one of many ways that I like to keep something on the horizon and be training for something, and keeps like going to the gym and having these kind of short cycles fun and interesting and new. And if like doing CrossFit is your jam, then like sign up for some CrossFit competitions. And if you like CrossFit and you also are pretty good at endurance and cardio, like Hyrox will be right up your alley.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's great.
do it. But also Hyrox, come to Seattle, because it's so far away and not very accessible for us.
Yeah.
And it's indoors, so don't worry about weather, right?
Yeah.
Is Eric going to do one? If Sarah doesn't sign up, I'll do one with Eric.
Eric would love to do one.
I'll put one out there. I'll do one.
Eric actually regrets not having signed up for Miami, but we started talking about this when Eric was in a neck brace. So
yeah, hard to do the neck
when
brace.
when we were talking about April as the deadline, like nobody really thought he would be back to full capacity, and he's been back to full capacity for a couple months now. So
this is why we train. You never know when shit's gonna happen in real life. So all right, Sarah, if you're not gonna do it, Eric, I'll do it with you.
There
Sam's
we go.
maybe doing Chicago.
Ooh.
If anyone at the gym wants to.
Oh, she put that in the pod.
Wow. Yes,
Thinking
Sam.
about it.
All right. Well, we got to go. Thank you both. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I loved hearing about this. I had so many curiosities about this. Sounds like you crushed it. Had a good time. and just recommend overall fitness and at least trying this out for everyone at least once.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Find yourself a bestie. Go run a race.
Get your matching outfits. Get some running shoes.
100%.
All right. Get some push tattoos. You'll be good.
There
All right. Well, we love fitness. We love our fitness with friends. We think fitness is neat. Have a great day. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.